Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career with me, Daniel. It's episode 10 and today we play our final game of the club season. It's against Sunderland in a T20 match, and a win today could prolong it for a couple more games as we could yet make the final after the group stages. We're down in 4th place at the moment with 2 wins and 2 defeats, but a win today puts us joint with the top 2 sides and it gives us every opportunity to get through. Our club side's done pretty poorly in the other 2 competitions, finishing in the bottom half of the standings, so hopefully there'll be a glimmer of light today as we do well in the shortest form of the game. We'll also, as we promised in the last episode, have a look at our selection status at the end of the season, and we'll look at the competition overview as well, just to see how we've got on statistically and how we match up against our fellow players. We're going to get into the game in a minute, but firstly a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series and the Ashes Test playthrough we did beforehand. I'm blown away for the support with both series, and I really do appreciate you continuing to watch. If you are enjoying the content, please put a thumbs up on it as we look to move towards another season where hopefully we'll be able to make it into the county side. If you're new to the channel and are enjoying the content, whether it be from Cricket 19 on from Football Manager or even our Snooker 19 career on Fridays, please do subscribe to the channel for regular content. We've got loads of sports games featuring across the week. But let's go and get into this game against Sunderland, a really important game for us. We're going to get to see both bat and ball hopefully, providing our skipper gives us a chance with the ball. We're still opening the batting against the Sunderland side, who aren't ranked as good as us overall, but they are on course to finish top of the table, and another standard medium pitch today. Hopefully we can spring a surprise on the final day. Let's go and get into the game, and we'll be back in a second with the toss. We're back for the toss and the lead skipper's calling. Hopefully that'll be us before too long. Let's see how it goes. Leeds win the toss. Tails he went for, and what's he going to do first? In the last 50 over game he chose to bowl, and maybe he'll go and do the same today. Exactly the same pitch, but this time he's chosen to bat. I don't quite understand his thinking at the moment. It seems completely random game by game, as the same captain on exactly the same type of pitch is going for the opposite call each time. I can understand it in 3-day games to an extent, but when it's 50 over or T20, surely you go for the same each time. The pitch and the conditions aren't going to change much over one day. But we're into the first over nevertheless, and we've been promoted to number 1 in the order. Normally Crompton takes the first ball of the innings, but this time it's going to be us. It's a slinging delivery, almost Malinga-esque, but we managed to get it away to square leg. It's just a single to start off, but at least we're not going to be out for a duck. That's a positive to start the innings. We'll be back when we get another chance at the crease. It didn't take long then, 5 off the first over. Crompton saw out the rest of the deliveries and he just added 4 runs. Now we've got one outside off stump. Oh, we've been caught, have we? That's a brilliant catch. We just tried to get it down for third man. We went a little too fine, but considering some of the fielding we've seen this season so far, that's an absolutely brilliant catch. We've got to take a look at that again. Again, we've been caught out playing outside off stump, and I'm not sure that's carried, you know. I'm sure there was a bit of grass on the ball there, but no complaints about that one. It wasn't the worst shot in the world, maybe a risk we didn't need to take, but that's an unbelievable bit of fielding. A brilliant take to get us out for 1, and now we've got to see what score Leeds can get to. In fact, they do better than if we were still there. We have got to 50s 3 times in a row in the T20 matches, this time obviously being our first failure in a while, but now we're going to get a chance with the ball, and it's going to be a surprise feature of this episode. I was hoping we'd be at the crease a bit longer, but at least we've got a chance to redeem ourselves. If we have a look at the scorecard at the moment, we did make it to a big score in the end. Leeds got to 178 for 5, and they now got Sunderland on 27 for 1. If we can keep things tight for the next couple of overs, we could yet play a crucial role in our success. Can we try and guide Leeds to the final, even if it is with the ball rather than the bat? Okay, let's bowl our first ball then. The target 179 for Sunderland, 27 for 1 off 4. They've got O'Brien in on 14. I'm pretty sure he's the man who caught us out. Bear with me as I go back to the scorecard again. We were caught by O'Brien, so this would be the sweetest wicket to get, but we've got to get Franklin off strike first. We'd obviously like to do that with a wicket, but we don't mind as long as it's just a single. What a shot that is though. We have been caught out early on here. We say that the batsmen don't attack us often enough, but he wasn't scared scared there, Franklin smashes us over the leg side for 4, and that is not the best start to our spell. A really good shot, he goes across his stumps and he flies it over the fielders. That's not a good start to the over. Let's just try an arm ball now, not something I do too often, but we wanted to change it up completely, and we have managed to prevent any more runs. A dot ball to calm things down, but that start to the over has thrown me a little. We'll go for the wrong un instead this time, try and catch him on leg stump, and again he's flicked it away pretty confidently. Just one on this occasion, but not the best start to the over at all. I'm a little bit concerned about this. We've got O'Brien on strike now, and I am going to amend the field slightly. We're playing a variation of our usual field, just because we can have 2 men outside the circle, so I'm actually going to bring the deep cover back in, and I'm going to put him across as protection on the leg side. We're going to go back to having a second slip, just to try and prevent those strokes outside off stump. Now we haven't got any deep cover on the offside, we want to make sure we stop them going over the top. We're going to drop the leg cully back to square, just to make sure we prevent that shot that went for the boundary with the first ball. It's a right-hander, so he should do a little bit better here. An off-break flighted delivery. Let's try and tempt O'Brien out. Let's see if he comes out for this one. Just tries to hook it to the leg side, but it's gone straight to the fielder in the inner circle, and it's another dot ball to keep things moving. 5 off 4 deliveries, not the worst spell so far, but we can see that bowling in the power play is a bit harder, something we might not have predicted early on. Let's go a little bit outside off stump this time, see if we can tempt them into a big one. Flicked away to the leg side, it's going to be 2. It was almost like watching us at the crease there. 7 runs off 5 balls, and I'm not quite sure I've been hit for this many in this career so far. So certainly some new experiences today, and it's been a bit of a horror show for us so far. An off-break delivery to O'Brien to finish. We're going to go a bit tighter into his leg stump there, and he does flick it away exactly the same, and I think that's probably going to be another 2. It's going to be 9 off our first over, and that's not gone well at all. Hopefully we'll recover from that if our captain's willing to give us another over. Well, it's been left a little while, but we've been brought back into the attack halfway through the innings. Sunderland 79 for 2, O'Brien still there on 28. They need 100 off 60, so they're going at a decent rate, and we've got to improve on that 9 off the first over. We've got a chance to the right-hander now. I think we are going to go a little bit more defensive. We can obviously have more outside the inner circle now, as we're well past the power play, so we're going to take that second slip back out to deep cover, and just have 3 men in the outfield. We've done it quite often in the T20 this year. We'll go for an extra cover instead of a cover, just to try and cover all of the areas on the offside. A lot of covers in that sentence, and we'll actually drop the deep mid off as well, so we've now got 4 men outside the circle. It's still quite an attacking field, and for some reason it's not saved anything like it. We'll go and try and set it again, and we'll be back in a moment for the first ball of the over. Okay then, field set. The first ball's just going to be a standard delivery. We want to see what sort of attacking intent he's going to have. He's still trying to hook them to the leg side, but this one's a dot ball straight to the infielder, and that's going to be a good start to the over. We'll switch to a wrong one for the second ball. I'm really determined to get O'Brien out after that quite remarkable catch against us to get us out for 1 early on. We were looking forward to another good batting display today, and he single-handedly ruined that. 2 dot balls though, a good start for us, and now we're going to flight one in to tempt him. Hopefully he won't find a brilliant 6, as he does try to attack it and it beats the infielder, but it should go for just 1 as the man at deep mid on gets round. I'm not quite sure why that fielder on the boundary didn't come in, as I'm sure he could have got there more quickly. But just 1 run off the first half and over, and now the left-hander's back on strike. It's something we've struggled with a little bit so far. Let's not try anything fancy. A standard ball on line and length, and again he's gone quite attacking there. He seems to have a lot of intent on the leg side, and it's not even the same batsman now. The left-hander's really attacking a spin, and it looks like they're going pretty nicely at the moment. They sneak through for 2, so the left-hander's still on strike, and now we are going to go for a wrong un, well outside off stump. See if he goes for it. He still tries to flick it to the leg side, and it should just be a single this one, although the fielder's not getting round too quickly. They go against the second run in the end, and it's just 4 off 5 balls in this over. That's a pretty good run rate for our side, even though it's not the best of our career. We're going to go for a flighted delivery to finish, try and get the right-hander caught in his crease. I'm not sure if he'll come and attack it. It's outside leg stump, and it's been flicked away for at least 1, and they're probably going to come back for 2. 6 off 6 deliveries, not a great over, but again it's pretty decent and keeps the chasing run rate high. Right, we've been brought back for our familiar role. It's our third single over. We've been used to bowling in succession, but I guess because we've been going for a few more runs, they've not really bowled us straight out. We're back with 4 overs left in the innings. Sunderland need 46 off 24. They've cruised to 133 for 3. They've got Tracy at his half century, the left-hander, and Young's at the other end, the right armour now. Hopefully we can get him out pretty quickly. The same field with 4 outside the circle. We're going to try a flighted delivery to start with. We tempt him out and he smashes it down the ground. Can the fielder get round to catch it? It's bounced at least once and it's gone for 4. That is a disastrous start to the over. All of these games we've seen the most economical bowling you can imagine, and we're bowling exactly the same types of line and lengths, exactly the same type of pitch, and this time we're going the distance, 19 off 2.1 overs. Is that a catch? I think we've got him there. Surely that hasn't bounced. It has. The umpire's not willing to give it. My eyesight must be getting pretty bad. We've actually got T20 figures for once, something I'm quite proud of now. At least it shows a bit of realism in the game, as that's a good stroke down to the deep fielder. Just a single. It's 5 off the first half and over, and we're helping Sunderland towards victory here. This has probably been one of our worst displays. We've struggled with both bat and ball, and now the left-handers on strike to cause us more trouble. We're going to go for the wrong, and as they've been less effective, and we're going to try and cramp him up here, so he just flicks it for a single. He manages to get a lot of pace on that round the corner, but it doesn't beat the fielder in the deep. The man at square gets around to protect the boundary, and it's just going to be another single. Sunderland need to go at 12 and over now. 40 needed off 20 balls, and we're going to be the key to stopping that, as I presume we're going to get one more over. We bowl one outside off stump. I think we've got him there, you know. Have we got the stumps off? It looks like the bails have gone. I wondered why we were celebrating there. I didn't even have to appeal. Did he hit the stumps with his bat? It didn't look like the ball went through, did it? Let's see what happened there. It was a combination of both. His bat and the ball hit the stumps, and we managed to bowl Young for 14. So we did go for 5 runs in the first half and over, but we've managed to get a prize wicket towards the end. Nothing better with a few overs left than having a new batsman at the crease. It is another left-hander though, so that's a bit of a worry, but hopefully we can have an economical last ball of the over. We'll go with the off-break delivery outside off stump. We've got plenty of protection out there. They try to hook it away to the leg side again, but the man at deep mid-wicket gets there. It's just a single to finish. Okay, we're back for our final over, and it's the penultimate one of the match. Can we help out our teammate for the final over? It looks like Sunderland got 10 off the last one. They're now on 150 for 4. The new batsman's pretty settled, and Sunderland need 29 off 12. We can get one more man outside the circle, so I think we are going to go and do that. We just want to protect the boundary and make sure it's 1s and 2s, so we don't lose too many runs towards the end. The one problem I've got is which fielder to take out. I think we're going to go for the man at extra cover, as he's not been used too much in this innings, and we might even bring him out to the leg side just to make sure we've got more protection. It means we can bowl tighter to the stumps and we can prevent boundaries where possible. If they go for the big shot, then hopefully they'll be caught, so we've now got a deep square leg as well as a square. Let's go for the off break delivery. We've got to make sure we get the line right now. It has to be tight to leg stump, and he's tried to expose his stumps and get it away, but it's just gone to the man at deep cover pretty lightly, and that's just going to be a single. Very good running at this stage of the game, but we're more than happy to just concede one. It's the other left armour on strike now, the newer batsman on just 11, and we're going to go for the exact same delivery. He tries to go for it, but we knock off his stumps, and that's the good thing with having the leg side field, is they have to expose their stumps to try and cut across the ball, and this one's gone straight onto the top of the stumps, and we've got a second wicket to get back into it, and after a horror first half of the episode, we could yet be our side's hero. Mason Wesley's out for 11, and he's another man clean bowled. 2 wickets for us so far, and despite our expensive figures compared to normal, this could still be a brilliant spell. Okay, 4 balls left, and it's another left-hander coming to the crease. We're going for exactly the same thing. It's worked with the first 2 balls, so let's do it again. This one goes big down the ground. I'm not sure that the fielder's going to get around. It bounces, but it's not going to reach the boundary. It's been cut off for just 1. That's an absolutely brilliant outcome. Very good attacking play by the batsman, but he doesn't quite get enough on it. It looks like they must have run through for 2, so that's a little bit disappointing, but we're leaving Sunderland needing 26 off 9. Surely we can win the game from here. Allen on strike again. We're going to go even wider to the leg side. I really want to tempt him to play outside leg stump, and he does it there. He could have left it for a wide, but in the end it's just going to be a single. A really good over from us when it matters, and I think we are going to be our side's hero. It all depends on the last over. Fingers crossed it'll go pretty well. We're going to go for a flighted delivery now. We've got the experienced batsman on strike. He's on 56 off 34, but he can't get that one away. A dot ball with the penultimate one of the over. We couldn't have asked for much more than that. One more delivery and we're going to go same again. Why fix something that isn't broken? Let's bowl it right on his legs again. He goes for a big one and it's gone to the man at mid-on. We're going to appeal because it looked like it clipped the pad, but it must have got the bat first. A pretty good final over. I think it was just 4 runs off it, and we've left our side in a really good position as they choose to finish with a spinner who's going at over 10s. Please don't throw it away from here. We won by 2 runs. We were 25 ahead at the start of the over, and he's nearly thrown it away from there. I've got to go and see what his figures were. That's absolutely remarkable. We'll be back in a moment to look at our selection status though, to see if we're any closer to breaking into the county side, and we'll also see how we got on in the competitions and compare ourselves with our peers. Well, I know we pulled it back well, but I wasn't expecting to get player of the match. We're an opening batsman who scored just 1 run. It was a brilliant catch by O'Brien, but it's still a disappointing knock for the batsman. 2 for 26 though, we took the most wickets of our side, and in the end we led them to victory with an economy of just over 6 and over. We won by 2 runs as Giovanni Morgan, the right arm wrist spinner, conceded 22 runs with the final over to make it a little bit nail biting, but in the end we get over the line and we've finished the season in style. We'll go and find out if we've made it through to the finals and obviously look at our end of season stats. Fingers crossed we'll have at least 1 more game to go, but I wouldn't bank on it with our run rate. We keep winning games by 1 or 2 runs and losing the rest by plenty more. Well, we're back very quickly because we've got a message from our manager or agent to say word is starting to get around to England County Cup teams about my performance. Keep up the good work and they'll have to take serious notice. So let's go and see what that means for our selection status. It doesn't look like we got through in the T20 competition. I will go and have a look in a moment just to check that before I confirm it, and then we'll go and have a look at our selection status. Well, I've checked and it looks like we finished 3rd narrowly in the league table. I'm not quite sure how they've managed to work it out. Maybe there is a run rate sequence going on behind the scenes, or even something like a head-to-head record, but it doesn't show on the table, so unfortunately we can't read anything into it. But as promised at the end of the season, let's go and look into our player. We'll look at our statistics overall first, just to see our stats in isolation, and then we'll go and compare them to the competitions we've been in to see if we're outstanding in any area of the game. So if we look at our average, everything comes under other, all of the different matches in the 3 forms of the game. So unfortunately we can't judge between the formats at the moment, but we can have a look to see how we're getting on. Our average is almost 30, which isn't too bad, and our strike rate just under 100. We've got 546 runs in 15 matches and a high score of 75. In terms of with the ball, we've been doing brilliantly. 13 wickets for 193 runs, an average of 14, an economy of under 2 remarkably, and our strike rate's about 50. We couldn't ask for much more than that. Best innings figures of 2 for 13 and best match figures of 4 for 26. A really good season for us with the ball, and we've got to hope we can do a bit more next year. The one thing we haven't achieved yet this season, we haven't managed to get a 6. We got 59 fours and we got 6 50s in all forms of the game, and we also took 3 catches too, but no 6s yet. We'll need a bit more power before we can do that. Let's go and have a look at our selection status though. We want to go down and look at the County Cup. We've yet to have a chance in there, so I'm not quite sure how that matches up with the agent message, as they're saying no chance here, or maybe he's just saying we're on the right track, and soon they'll start to take notice if we continue to perform pretty consistently. But we've gone back to the overview screen to skip through a few days just to make sure we didn't get to the T20 final, and have confirmed we finished in 3rd place despite having the same number of points as 1st and 2nd. So that's a little bit of a disappointment, and it looks like we're going straight through to season 2. If anything happens in the meantime, we'll obviously show that in the next episode, but finally before we finish this one, we do want to go and have a look at the competition statistics just to see how we compare to our colleagues. It's really quite a good feature of the Career Hub. that you can go along and look at the different competitions. I've really enjoyed it in all the editions of this game, so we're going to try and find ourselves in the Northern Cup. I believe this is the 3-day game. We're down on 256 runs, 10 innings in 5 matches, so yes, it is the 3-day format. 292 balls, a strike rate of 87, an average of 25, and 34s and no 6s. A couple of 50s as well, a pretty decent start so far. If we move over to look at the ball instead, who's got the most wickets in this form? We're certainly not going to be near the top of this one, as we haven't had many overs in the longest form. 114 runs for 8 wickets. We've got a brilliant economy and a strike rate of 51. Our average is very good as well, but we haven't had too many overs with the ball, as you would expect for a batting all-rounder. Something that's pleased me, I was worried early on, but our impact with the ball has been reduced as the season's gone on. Let's go over and look at the 50 over season. Again, it's called the Northern Cup, hence my confusion beforehand, and this is the one we've really struggled with the bat. So if we go down, we're probably going to be a long way down this list. 123 runs, 116 deliveries faced, an average of 24, a strike rate of just over 100, and that one innings of 69 towards the end of the season really does hide how bad we've been in the rest. Other than that, our average is just over 10, and that's a pretty appalling start to our career. Then again, let's go to the bowling stats in that one. We've been extremely economical, and you'll probably see where some of my problems are here, because as we said before, we had some really crazy figures in some of these. We've only taken 2 wickets, but conceded 30 runs off 180 balls. Our economy rate is 1, and you can see on that side of the table there, there's no one else with an economy near that. It really is a big problem in the game. Our best figure's 1 for 2 off 10 overs, absolutely remarkable. There's one with 3 for 9 up there, a little bit more realistic but still not great, and it's really my one complaint this season. The bowling in 50 over cricket, there's something wrong with that. The batsmen aren't willing to attack us, and in the end it leads to these ridiculous figures. But finally, let's move on to the T20, certainly the area we've had the most success, and look at that, we're on the top page for the runs scored. 167 off 148 balls, a strike rate of 112, not too bad for a steady opener, an average of 41, and a high score of over 50. We've made 3 half centuries in 5 matches. It's certainly been our standout performances. And then again onto the bowling for this one. We've not taken too many wickets, just the 3 for 49 runs, and obviously 2 of those came in the last match where we did concede most of our runs too. An economy of 4.9 and 2 for 26 our best figures. So overall a pretty decent first season, and I'm happy with where we are at the moment. If we go to our career screen to finish off, you can see our overall ratings up to 22. I think it started on 10 at the start of the first year, so good progression in the first year, and hopefully we can continue it next season. If you did enjoy this first season though, and that dramatic last T20 game, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought of that last game, and our first season overall. How does it compare to how you've been doing? Were you further down the line for county selection at this point, or have I just been a little bit too inconsistent? We are improving, and that's the main thing, and hopefully the struggle will end soon, as we become more consistent and reach the county level where we can really start to gain some attribute points. That will allow us to progress more quickly and really start to move forward in our career, particularly with the bat where we are finally getting the hang of it. I feel like next year could be a big one. Subscribe to the channel for 3 episodes a week from this Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. And if you are enjoying this content, please do catch up with our Ashes Test playthrough, which we had on the channel in the last month or so. I really do appreciate the support with that one, and if you have already watched it, a massive thank you. There's also daily content from my 2 long-term FM19 stories, which will continue through to the release of FM20. We'll have loads of content from that game as well. I've got lots of exciting plans for when it releases. Then our Snooker 19 career continues every Friday at 4:30. We're coming up towards the end of our first season, where we'll be competing in the World Championships for the first time, and I'm really hoping we can go on a run in that one, so I hope you'll join me to find out how we do. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with the series. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another big episode as we start our second season, hoping to make it a successful one.